Okay guys, we have a growth on the scalp here. You can see it's pretty soft, so I'm not feeling much of a possible pilar cyst wall that's in there. This could be more of a fluid-filled pocket or a cyst wall that's broken down. But you can see once that swelling gets kind of high, you can see how it's raised up, it puts pressure on the hair follicles and they stop growing, so we get a bald spot like that. So today we're gonna numb her up here, do a little cut right across here, and see if we can pull a sac out of there, at the very least drain this pocket if there is some type of purulent discharge or, you know, fluid that's filling that in there. She doesn't have a history of trauma or anything like that, but you can see it's quite raised, almost over a centimeter. So we're gonna get her numb and get that taken care of for her. Okay guys, MrPopZit here, Greg Lynch Derm PA, and we have what we were just talking about, looked like possibly a pilar, but I said it didn't feel like that, and my intuitions were right. When we started numbing, she does have, you can see here, a little punctum right at the top, and as we put in some lidocaine around the edges, some of it went into that area, and a little bit popped out. So an epidermoid cyst most likely. So when she has this extra skin, I do just a small swath there, and I'm going to close that with sutures, but to get that little open pore out for her. And that will take care of some of that extra skin she has there, so it doesn't all bunch up after we remove it. A little bit of pressure. If you have any stinging, let me know, okay? Okay. You're like, you'll be the first to know, huh? So we go nice and slow here. You can dab from that side if you want. Scalp always has little bleeders. Let's see, dab there for me. I want to see if I see a sac lining there. Yeah, we might do a little piercing here, right there. Little squeeze here and see. Oh, there we go. Got a lot out. Luckily. You weren't right in front of it, neither were I. Because that kind of went straight out and out the back there. This epidermoid cyst likely. We're going to see, this is kind of like a little, not much of a sac in there that I can see. So this likely was a small cyst that exploded and kind of outgrew its sac inside, and then it becomes like a small abscess. So you can see that little, just kind of broken down cyst wall right there. And we got a lot of fluid out there. No pain, right?
No.
Good. Just a little pressure. You can kind of hear that, right? Does that sound weird? Good. And that's just cyst particles breaking down there. Probably need some. There's some cyst wall there too, so there's definitely a cyst at some point. Might need a little bit more balance. Yeah, thank you. Just gonna push from each side here. Good. Getting some of that lining for her. You can kind of hold that back. It's perfect. When I get down to the bottom here, when I'm pushing, if it's tender, you just let me know. Sometimes it can be.
Okay.
Make sure getting the bottom of that pocket right there. Good. So you can see it's almost like an indentation there once we got all that fluid out. So I'm just going to snip that little swath of skin. We can see in there better and see what we're working on. That's good. So we get that off of there. Now we can look in there a little bit, and that is what you see when you have cyst breaking down. It's just kind of mushy, and that was a little small abscess actually. I'm gonna get in there with some Q-tips, and we'll kind of go around. No pain at all?
No.
Good. So, yeah, just little cyst, parts of cyst wall and kind of mushy. Just clean in all around the pocket there. Very good. So that looks pretty good. Lift up there. And you can't, there's no discernible cyst wall. Just little particles that are breaking down. So, as you can see, it goes all the way up here. There's quite a big pocket there. What we'll do is put her on an antibiotic to kind of help dry things up. We're going to do a little, let's do 3 cc saline flush. Okay, I'm going to go get it, yeah. So you can see that's part of the cyst wall attached at the bottom there. This is nice because we can really see in there. And we're gonna look right under there. So a lot of people always say, why don't you just cut the abscess open? That's kind of what we did here, and you can see it's just kind of red and not much. Once we just flush there and get out the parts that come out easily, there's nothing that looks like a cyst, so hopefully that won't regrow for her, but I think it's already broken down. That's good. And it's a pretty empty pocket actually once we got the fluid out, so what we'll do is put in a little mattress stitch that will kind of pucker up that skin there and help close that pocket just like that. That'll take the tension off of those hair follicles, so hopefully they'll start regrowing within the next month or two. And we'll get her all cleaned up. We'll do the saline flush first. Okay, I'm just gonna flush this in here. Just like that. Perfect. That gets out little loose bits. Nice. Anything that's not really attached, that'll get out. Okay. So we're going to do a little closure now and just kind of close that up. We relieved all that pressure that she was having, and it was under a lot of pressure, and she's going to feel a lot better. We got the pore that was attached to that cyst at one point out of there, so she'll just have a little line scar there, and that should be good. One more Q-tip up in this area here, just to make sure we got everything loose up here out. There's one bit right there. Okay, no pain the whole time, really?
No.
Except for the shots in the beginning, you did great. We got quite a bit of fluid and little bits of what was left of the cyst out. And I got that pore out for you and took some of the little extra skin that had stretched out over the last year or two and removed that. So it should heal nice and flat and start growing hair again. Still see, even though with the skin that we took off, there's still plenty of extra skin. We do 2 here. And this is a horizontal mattress stitch. Hold that up here like that. So that's gonna be nice. Exactly what we want. Came together great. Hold on. Cut that kind of long. We're going to do one more little mattress stitch. Okay, yeah, give it a good push. Here, breathe, that's what you want.
It's crying.
It's crying, that's right, because it's gone. I'm going to do a couple simple updates right across there. So some people ask, why didn't you cut more skin off? We don't need to. It's going to pull into place. We just need that nice pucker. A couple simple interrupteds on the top there. It's going to do great. I'll hold that back. Perfect. Thank you. Right in the middle there. Let's cut that one. When I was training, there was a surgeon, anytime he had something, he would cut half of the hair off. And, you know, I don't do that for young girls. She had a lot of hair not growing already, so we just got to move around it as we sanitize the area, and we just move around as we do the closure. It's fine. That way she doesn't have such a bald spot to deal with regrowing. Cut here. Call it milking the wound. Get everything out. The last little hole there, it's open. Good. A little bit of blood at the bottom there. Get it out. A little bit right at the edge. There are some cyst contents there too. Sometimes these pockets that are really inflamed, we'll try and refill with fluid. That can happen. If it does, sometimes we do a little drainage if we need to. Okay. All right, guys, that was like a tricky little abscess, actually, kind of fronting as a pilar cyst. She had a lot of fluid, a lot of breakdown. There's air in there. We're just trying to push out through the last little bits there. But you can see the difference. It's indented now, which is good. We got all that out, and these tight stitches kind of suture and everything down. Kind of close that pocket so the bleeders, little bleeders that were leaking in there, stop. We'll get these out in 10 to 14 days. And she's going to feel so much better. You can just kind of see the pigment flushing back in there, which is good because it's got good blood flow again. And that's looking good. A lot of pressure in there. And the reason being is because there's a skull below it. And there's not a whole lot of area to flex going sideways either. It usually comes straight up like that one did. So it'll leak a little bit. And we'll put a little wrap on her. Put a little wrap around it. And, you know, that will kind of absorb for the first 2 days any leaking that she gets, and then it'll dry up and that should stay flat. So we'll check back. I want to maybe check back on her. You can come back in a week. Is that okay? Or?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, and then we'll get the stitches out the next week. But I just want to see if you start to get some fluid. We may have to do a little draining on it. It's possible. Okay, well, thanks for popping by, guys. That's it. We got it all out of there in a nice tight closure. I think she's going to be very happy, and thanks again to her for sharing. Thanks for popping by. Okay, guys, this is our 1 week follow-up here, and we had that raised up kind of cyst in that area. Looking good. There's still a little seam, so we usually go 10 to 14 days on the sutures. It's nice and compact, nice and flat as well. We don't feel anything there when we touch that there. And you can see how those you know, horizontal mattress stitches really get that good tissue eversion. You can see the puckering up there. And that's how we want that midline seam where I cut healing, with that puckering up. And then when we cut all these out, it flattens out with a scar you can barely perceive or see. So that's good. You can already see it's going away up here, but it still has some healing to do there. So thanks to her for sharing, and we'll do the follow-up on the suture removal coming up in about 5 to 7 days. Okay, guys, this was the pilar cyst that we had. It was kind of like an abscess, actually. When we cut it, it squirted out on us. But we got her back for suture removal. It's been 2 weeks, and you can see here how nicely this, we have that little horizontal mattress stitch. It's just puckering everything up. There's 2 of them. So as we take this out, you're going to see that little puckered up skin start to flatten out. Let me get these little simple interrupteds first. Okay, here's the next one here. Just a little simple interrupted. You can see right in the middle where that cut line is, you can barely see where we cut her. It's healed so well. That's nice. There. Those are the ones that close the cut line. Now this is the one that's puckering everything up. Good. This is the other one here. Perfect. So now you can see that skin just relax, which is what we want to see. And that looks good. I don't feel any residual. There's no pocket in there. Everything's kind of filled in. The skin is now flattening out. And you'll see where we cut, you don't see much. It's just kind of puckered up because it had a lot of tension on it, but that'll flatten out like it is over here. And you shouldn't even see that cut line. Hopefully now that the pressure from underneath has been relieved, she'll start to regrow hair in that area too. She should. I can see some little ones already starting there. So that's a good outcome. That's what we want to see. You know, if she comes in a couple months, we'll take some video to see how it is a couple months out, but she should be doing great. So thanks for popping by, and that's a good ending to an explosive situation.
Hey guys, MrPopZit here. If you like what you just saw, make sure to pop all the buttons. See you soon.